We're with Betsy Saina. She's one of the favorites for the Olympic marathon trials. Betsy's joining us from Iten, Kenya. And unlike a lot of the trials participants, she's about to go hop on a plane first thing in the morning, fly from Eldoret to Nairobi to New York, and then New York to Orlando. But it's well worth it. Let me take you through her career a little bit. She ran at Iowa State, was a 3-time NCAA champion, including the cross-country champion. She then went on to represent Kenya at the 2016 Olympics, where she placed 5th in the 10K. She's the fastest track participant in these marathon trials, having run 14:39 for 5,000 and 30:07 for 10K. Her marathon career started out a little bit slow, but since giving birth to her son Kalia in 2021, really has been on a tear this past year. Coming back from giving birth, she won the Sydney Marathon and also ran 2:21:40 in the Tokyo Marathon. Betsy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
First of all, I don't know, talk a little bit about the travel. Are you used to traveling that much the week of the race?
We made a decision that I didn't want to stay in Orlando for a long time before the race, and me and my agent, we just discussed, and we were like, I asked him, I said, if you put me in business class, and then I can fly you on Wednesday, get to New York, get to Orlando, because I'm a very good sleeper in the plane anyway, to be honest with you. So when they accepted to do that for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay at home as long as I can, because I really want to stay there like 2 days and then race. I did that when I went to Sydney, to be honest, and it worked perfect. So I'm like, okay, let me do it again and see how it goes.
If you're flying business class, I think you're good to go. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. It makes things better.
How have the preparations gone for this marathon? You did a piece I saw with Fast Women, with Citius Mag. It sounds like everything's gone very well. You're now training with Joyciline Jepkosgei, and her husband, Nicholas Koech, is your coach.
Yes.
I mean, how would you compare this build up to, say, the one for Sydney or Tokyo?
To be honest with you, like after having my son, everything has been coming. I would say like it's been really a huge improvement after every, in Tokyo, you look back and see what the training looked like, and everything has been getting better and better. And for this one, to be honest, it's in one of the best build-ups I've ever had, because when you get the privilege as an athlete to be able to train through the program without having any injuries, it's always one of the best things, like when you're doing like a 3 months of really intense training and then things are clicking really well, you are grateful for that. And I would just say like it's been really amazing, and I'm really excited to see what I can do, because things has gone on my way in training, but it's a race, and all that I'm praying right now is like, hopefully I will wake up in the morning having a great day after having the build up. Sometimes it depends on how you wake up on marathon day. So that's the only thing that I'm really hoping for.
There's been some discussion of, the heat and that sort of stuff in Florida. The weather's looking okay. It might be, I think, a high of 70 in that day, but not by the end of the race. Sort of, what are your thoughts about running in, slightly warmer weather in Florida?
I decided to do like, I've been doing like a little bit of, acclimatizing. In Kenya, especially in Iten, we have a place called, in the Fale, it's called Rimoy. So I always go down there, and I've done like couple sessions just trying to get ready for anything, because, you cannot just walk in and be like, oh, it's not going to be hot. So I've done that couple times. And of course, I'm grateful that I ran Sydney, because it was one of the races that we had a lot of heat and humidity. We finished the race, like we started with like 14 degrees and we finished when it was 21. So it was one of those races whereby I'm grateful that I did it. So I understand how it feels, especially how to go out when like it's going to be hard or it's going to be humid and stuff. So I feel like, I don't know how Florida will go, to be honest, but I'm really excited, because I know at the end of the day, it's everyone competing on it. But I've done everything I could to be able to compete in the heat or in the humidity. So we will see what happens on Saturday.
And so where you went to train, I've been to Iten before. Is that the valley, like sort of back behind Iten when you drive off the mountain?
Yes.
Is that where you went?
Yes.
Down to the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah, I was shocked because it does get a lot hotter down there.
Yes.
we drove around one day and I was like, wow, it's hot down here.
Yes, I've been doing that a little bit. You're just trying to go a couple times and, just to get going and see how it feels when you run when it's hot.
So you have connections to Alafine Tulamuk, the winner of the last trials. You guys were, teammates at Iowa State, I believe. Like, how close are you with her, and how much does her experience? Have you ever talked to her about 2020? Winning the trials then, and her experience, and I don't know, like, any thoughts on that?
To be honest, I think everybody has been really, really busy. We only catch up sometimes, like, hey, how are you doing? And we haven't talked much about running, which is normal, especially, when everybody is busy. She's in a different zone. She has a 3-year-old kid, and, everybody's all over the place. So we haven't discussed anything about it. But I mean, I know Halvin very well, and I know how tough she is. And it's going to be my privilege to compete with her. It's been a while, but I'm really excited to see what we can all do on Saturday.
Kind of being back in Kenya and training, does that give you sort of, I don't know, a different perspective? Like in the US, you essentially can be 219, 220 and be one of the best. But in, Kenya, like I guess, Joyciline I think she had the world record at the half marathon for a while. She's run 217 in the marathon. Women are running 212s. I mean, like has the bar been changed, but also does it give you a different perspective being in Kenya and like maybe, keeping the expectations very high?
When you're training with someone like Jocelyn, who has ran 64, she has 217. It's been really incredible for me because I really wanted to see how does she approach it? How did she run 64? How did she get to run 217? So, very much training with her has been one of the biggest motivation for me because whenever you're doing a workout, when you finish close to her, you're like, oh, it looks like I'm getting there. So you don't know for sure, like, but you have to put it on paper. But it's been really amazing when you have someone who has run really fast and you are training with her every day. I get to see her every morning, every evening for my second run. It's been really one of those motivations whereby I really hope before I retire, I can be able to at least run 217 the way she has achieved it, or, at least to get to be like close to what she has achieved because I've seen what she does in training and very much we are on the same thing. We just wake up in the morning, we have the same workout, and it's been really getting closer and closer. But I'm super excited anyway because one thing that I have really learned being in Kenya is we have a lot of guys pacing us, which is different compared to the US. So like last week on Sunday, I was the only one working out and I had 12 guys, running around me. So it makes me really feel excited and I don't feel like I'm doing the whole work by myself. So it's been one of the biggest thing being here is getting the support and having people who can push me beyond my limits. So I'm just excited to see what I can do. But of course, it's really a different perspective compared to training in the US.
Wait, so you said you had 12 men pacing you? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I had 12 men running with me. Like they put me in the middle and you don't even feel like you're working out because you have all these men pushing you and they set the pace for you. All you have to do is just to follow them. So it makes things easier compared to like when you're running by yourself or when you're running with like two people with, on the track or something like that.
And is it these guys' jobs, their sole job is to essentially pace the women?
So basically, we are like for myself, I pay like 3 pacemakers, and then Jocelyn is paying I think 4 of them, and then we have some 2 other girls in our group, and nobody was working out, so I was the only one working out. So all the pacers from different, we have 4 girls in the group, and all of them came and supported me. So it was really amazing to just have all of them like running with me at the same time.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And yeah, so I was going to ask you, how big is your group besides Jocelyn? Who else is in it? Like, it's 4 people?
Basically, it's just me and her to be honest with you. But we only have we are trying to develop like young other girls. So we have 2 other women who just joined, but one of them actually was taken in Thailand. She ran like 2:30. One of them actually ran Muscat. She was third. So those are the 2 girls that we've been developing in our group, and I feel like it's really as far as they're just starting, it's becoming a big group because we're getting people who can be able to train hard and start improving. One of the girls, sister to Jocelyn, she was at 241 marathon and she ran 233. And then the other girl, she just ran 230 from like 239. So it's been really amazing, developing young women, young talents, being part of us in our group. So it's just 4 girls and couple guys running with us.
And how did you start working with Joycelyn and her husband?
I went to high school with Joyciline, so I've known her from 2005 when I was in high school. And when I went to Iowa State, I was kind of trying to get her to come to Iowa Central for the college, and we kind of had a long friendship back from college, and trying to get her to come to college, but she did not succeed to get the visa. So we just keep communicating, and when I just came back in 2021, I just the communication and everything. It was not all about training; it was about the friendship more than training. But when I came back from maternity leave, I just wanted to train with her. I don't know, with some reason, it was just those things whereby, in Kenya, you can hear like, oh, this program is really good or whatever. And Joyciline's group was one of my favorite because I know her and I've known her for many years compared to a lot of people that I've met here in Iten. And when Canova was no longer based in Kenya very much because he's now based in Italy, I wanted someone who can always be there for me. Like I like to have a one-on-one coaching, and I spoke with Joyciline and the husband, and they were they welcomed me to join their group, which has been really incredible.
Did you work with Renato at one point?
I did after when I left the BTC in 2017. I worked with Renato when I won Paris Marathon, and then I ran Frankfurt, and I stopped working with him after running. I was second in Toronto in 2019, and by 2019 he started moving back to Italy. Like he's aging now, but he's one of the best coaches. But I really wanted to have someone one on one because I like to have someone who is following me every time.
I mean, you don't need to spend too much time asking this because I said I'd keep it short, but you've worked with some of the most famous coaches. I mean, Jerry Schumacher of Bowerman Track Club, Renato, and now Nicholas. Like, is it easy to work with different coaches? Do you see strengths with one coach does this really well, or is there a sort of common theme between them? I don't know. Sort of, what's your big picture on all these different
Well,
coaches?
one of the biggest things for me is like when I was in Jerry Schumacher's group, we had like he's a very high mileage person, and it does really work perfect for me because I love running a lot of miles. And when I moved from him coming to Canova, Canova is has a different perspective, but it's almost the same thing again because it's like you're doing mileage and then you move to a coach who likes to do like high mileage. And then moving to the third coach who is Nicholas, it's been really amazing again because everything they do is kind of like high mileage as well. So I know sometimes it can be really hard because moving from one coach to a different coach, it can take a lot of time before you adjust. But for me, I really like I had to study, a little bit before I joined a coach, like knowing what do they do and how is their program and stuff. So very much I knew like joining like Nicholas, for example, I knew things was going to go okay because at some point they were with Canova as well before he started coaching Joyciline. So I knew he has a little bit philosophy from Canova and he's putting his own, and when you do that, the program that you have is going to be one of the best. So I just took that in a positive way and I joined them, but I still appreciate and I'm grateful that I was able to join them.
And Nicholas himself, was he a good runner? What's his background?
He was an 800-meter runner, but the reason why he ended up being a coach is because he started coaching Joyciline immediately after high school. And, to be honest, like for Joyciline to be able to run like 65, I think she was the first woman to run 65, if I'm not wrong. She set the world record. And Nicholas was the one putting together like everything for her. And since then, he keep putting things together for her, and it has worked out really well for her because she won London and Nicholas was like part of the whole program. And then she won New York. And so Nicholas knows very much like how to put together like all the programs for like hard courses or, like flat course like London and stuff. So he has a lot of history about coaching Joyciline, using that as an example. And now he's kind of like one of the best coaches, to be honest with you.
He's had great success. I like back to having the male pacers. I think that could be very beneficial for anyone to have a pacer. I think it'd make it easier.
It does. It's very easy.
I mean, you don't have to answer this one, but roughly, what do you have to pay someone to be your pacer? Like, do you pay them a monthly salary? How does that work?
For us, to be honest, like in Kenya, everybody does really different the way they do pay the pacemakers because in Iten, we have like you've been in Iten before and you know like how many male or how many women are here. Like there's a lot of people who are running here, and not everybody can get to a caliber of competing like professional. especially, they keep trying. Like everybody's trying their luck in running, and some of them are here basically for pacing. And for us, actually, to be honest, we always try to support them to be, to be better runners. Like I give them like my first some facilities, for example, and then I pay for the housing, and then I provide food, and then I pay them. We pay them monthly, for example, like 7,000 Kenyan shillings. So we don't spend much money on them, but at least they are getting better too. Like they train. Sometimes someone can train with us, and tomorrow they turn professional as well and start competing for their own. So I don't know. I would say like 7,000 a month, and but 7,000 Kenyan shillings though.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm trying to figure out how much that is. But when I was in E10, I remember they're like, "Oh, come do a workout one day," and I was just shocked because like all these other guys just showed up, and I was like, "Who are these guys?" And they're like, they knew some of the guys, and some guys were just hoping to catch on. And I mean, there's so many people, up there.
Yeah, they support.
That's a 50, yeah, 50 about $43 a month.
Yeah,
But you're giving them a place to live and food,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
people don't understand. It's a different, environment.
It is.
And it'd be curious. Have any of these male pacers gone on to do good things on their own? Have you heard about any stories of guys who started off pacing the women and they're now pretty good runners?
Actually, if you see, like I remember, like Vivian Cheriot, one of the pacemakers from Vivian, the guy who was pacing Vivian for a long time, and now he's running professional. He's actually with Essex. His name is Wilfred Kimite, and he's running 60. Yeah, like he's running 60. He's running
Oh wow.
marathon like 2:9, 2:8. Like the thing is, when we are training together, the coach is always, after we finish like a long, like for example, we had a workout this weekend, and we were doing 3K times 4 and then 1K off, so total of 16K workout. Right after we finish that, the coach will give them a different workout to add it on, which of course they will do more than I do, but it's more beneficial for them than myself. They get the same benefit as I do. So very much I always see them, and I feel like at some point, especially in our group, we are trying to develop a group where, these pacemakers can come and compete on their own and be able to win their own races as well.
It sounds like a cool idea. What's the best workout you've done this build up, would you say?
Hmm. I've done a lot actually. I would just say the best workout I've done is running. I would say running 30 kilometers, averaging 325 in altitude, which is 142 for the 30K. That is one of my favorite. I've never ran faster like that ever. So that was really one of the most incredible things that I look at myself and I said, I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
I'm trying to convert 325. I'm trying to convert that to
I think
like see how
I don't know what is it.
see how what marathon pace that is.
Uh 325 should be, I don't know. I have no idea. 330.
I can't figure it out. I'll put it in the notes when I post it on Let's Run. And looking at the field, like Kira D'Amato, Emily Sisson, they've run some fast times. Alafine won last time. Do you analyze the field much? Do you have a strategy, or is it more just getting fit, coming in and racing your best?
For me, like this season was just like, everybody wants to make the Olympic team, everybody wants to win the race. And I was training really hard. I'm training to win, like the way everybody else is doing. And I just want to go out there and compete with them because first of all, I've never competed with Emily. So I'm really, really excited, to be honest, because she's one of my favorite runners out there. I get to compete with Kera Amaro in the 25K, and it was really nice to meet her and to know her in person. So it's kind of like, for me, I'm super excited to just meet these women and see how we can put it together. But my rest strategy, of course, is just like to go out there and enjoy and see what happens, like following the lead and seeing what everybody else is doing. And we can hope. I hope for the best and see what happens at the end of the race. But I'm really more excited than just competing for myself. It's just because I have these women that I've always admired watching them, and I am competing for the Olympic trials for the first time in the US. So it's really one of the best things that I really want to do this weekend. Is just to go out there and enjoy with them and see what happens at the end of the race.
You've already made one Olympic team, but you haven't made one from the United States. What would it mean to make this Olympic team for you?
Um, like I was telling someone few days ago, for me this time trying to make the Olympic team, it means a lot because I have a son who is coming along to understand that mommy goes running. So I really want to make this team because I know in August Kalia will already understand like what mommy is doing because it looks like he's understanding right now. So I really hope I will be able to make this team and then have my son to come and watch me and see what mommy is doing because sometimes when you leave them at home like this weekend, I'm leaving tomorrow, he doesn't understand. Like, I will be talking to him like, Kalia, hi, how are you? Because he doesn't even know where mommy is. So I really hope I can make the team. That way my son will be able to know that mommy is a faster runner.
He's not coming to Orlando, but are you saying you might bring him to the Olympics? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if I make the team, yes, he's coming to the Olympics. But this time he's staying home because it's too long and he's in that age where he's really, really busy right now. So I don't want to deal with, I really want to deal with myself, especially with a lot going on this weekend. So he's going to stay home.
Yeah, no, I agree. Having a 3-year-old myself, I can't imagine if I was trying to compete, flying her,
Yeah.
14 hour, however many hours it is,
Yeah.
right before my big competition.
Yes.
So, well, I appreciate the time. Oh wait, one more question I'm asking people. What's your favorite training shoe and what shoe will you be racing in?
My favorite training shoe is Nova Plast. And I'm racing with Metaspeed Edge.
Edge.
Yes.
And is that a prototype or is it a special one for you? Or is it the normal Metaspeed Edge?
It's the prototype.
You know?
Prototype.
Yeah, you guys get the good ones.
Yes, we get the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, great luck. I look forward to seeing you in Orlando and have a safe flight. Appreciate you doing this.
Thanks, Alden. I hope to see you there. Thank you. I'm really trying to see like sometimes there's a day I stayed until like I had the doping control in my house and they stayed until 1 a.m. in the morning. And I woke up in the morning feeling okay. So I'm trying, I'm kind of trying everything. That way when I get to Orlando, I am going to get adjusted really quick. So I've done that and it works. So I'm gonna try again this time. So
That's smart.
yeah.
And then also like the dope. There's been all the positive, doping tests in Kenya. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's they're obviously testing a lot more, and maybe they're cleaning up a problem that was always there, but sort of, I don't know. When I went to Kenya, like I don't know, I went in 2008, whenever the World Cross Country was for the first
Yeah.
time, and I got back and somebody said, "Oh, there's a lot of doping in Kenya." I was like, "I don't think so," but now it's clear there was. But like, I don't know. What are your general like? Do you think I don't know. Does it like make people like you train in Kenya? Do you think people it makes like? Do you feel like an obligation to show that you're special? That you're clean, or I don't know. Like, do you think it casts aspersions on all performances by Kenyans, or is it getting better? I'm just sort of asking like an open-ended question.
Yeah,
But
I mean, right now, to be honest, like for me, I'm just like you, to be honest, because I used to be based in the US a lot, and all the time when you
right,
would come here, you could hear people saying like, "Oh, there's a lot of doping going on," and right now, after staying in Kenya for the last 3 years, to be honest, it's been getting really. I can say doping is very bad, but the good news is one side that I'm really happy about is like now they introduce a system whereby in the morning, especially for the last 6 months, if you remember when Kenya was almost getting in a big trouble when they were World Athletics was putting them in a radar. They started having like a lot of tests, which is really getting better. And even if you see this weekend, there's one of the chemists around actually, to be honest, whereby they had the DCI and the ADAC people. They've been doing a lot of investigation, especially in places like Iten, Kapsabet, and they end up actually getting some of the athletes, and they took them to jail. I don't know. They stayed in prison. I think they were supposed to go to the court today. For me, I really feel bad, to be honest, because at some point I know how it feels when you are staying in a place with this doping going on. But I'm so grateful that I am among those athletes that I'm so happy to see this testing the way they are doing it, and they are fighting it actually. Like I feel like they are in a better place compared to like I came to Kenya in 2018 and the testing was way less. Especially, I remember when I was running for Kenya, and at some point, I was not even in the testing pool for some time. And I was like, how many people are like my caliber that they are not getting tested and maybe they're doing it. So, right now it's really amazing, like they're all over the place. You can hear like the hadak, the hey, are you, they're moving around, and I think it's scaring a lot of people. And I hope maybe in the next 2 years, or I don't think it's gonna take like a year, to be honest, because you can still see people, like doing it after even seeing like a lot of people getting banned. So I hope that illiteracy, to be honest, because I think it's the biggest thing that is playing in Kenya, is because a lot of these, at least if you look at them, it's just because they are really, it should not be an excuse of like poverty that somebody wants to run well to get the to hand money really quick than investing on it. But at the same time, it is what it is. But I feel like they are getting better and better, and I hope maybe in the next 1 year or two, hopefully Kenya will be a better place or a good place whereby they will bring their reputation back. But at the moment, I know it's really really bad, to be honest.
It sounds like it's getting better. And I mean, when we hear jail, we're like, wow, like they start jailing a few people,
Um,
and I've seen a few things of people getting arrested, but I think then some people might talk or say like, oh, this is where I'm getting the drugs and that sort of stuff. It'll be interesting to
we
see what
really hope
happens.
so too. Like everybody is hoping that after they take these people to the, I guess the guys did it at the wrong time, because I heard like about it anyway in Kenya, when they take you to the to police station on Friday, then you're gonna stay for 2 days because they don't work over the weekend, which is really amazing. Um, so today actually was the day that they were supposed to be taken to the court, and I hope actually they will use that for them to identify everyone who has been going there, and I think that will help us to root it out, to get it out, because when someone will identify people who have been going there, it helps them to know how to fight it or where else to at least get to go. So that can help them to root it out. So let's hope. I mean, I hope it can be a good lead to many who have been doing this.
All right. Well, thank you.